Hello there YouTube, this is Sibbles and Bits back at it again. Today we are doing another Inkbound daily. Today is the solo daily for January 9th. And today we will be playing Godkeeper, going from I don't know to I forgot to look, up against Argoloth here. Generally speaking, I put Godkeeper like pretty high, so depending on exactly where we're going, I'd say that we pretty much have a good thing going on. Unfortunately, we start with Wolo's Bloodletter, so in other words, this is an empty mod. We're going to throw that immediately onto the ground. And enemies deal 1 damage to the attacker when taking damage. Fortunately, upgrades and vaults no longer consider rarity for what they have to offer, so in other words, we can get purple Augs and legendary vestiges at any point in the game. So we're immediately going to be looking for something to offset spicy foes. Either something that causes or gives us access to vigor, or something that gives us shielding on hit, because we're going to need either or. Otherwise, healing is also fine. Our trinket isn't helping us at all. It's giving us Stone of Scholars, which is a thing. Really not good, especially for this character, in my opinion. I suppose if we're able to carry this to the end, then that would also give us Shadow and kind of offset the fact that we're trying to also get Vigorous off of it. Probably not a good thing, so we're, again, just going to go ahead and toss that onto the ground because that's how I feel about it. Okay, so none of these are shielding on hit. That's not shielding. Pulsar Belt gives us 1 shield, which is not shielding on hit. Yeah, that's incredibly tricky. We're going to have to re-roll here. I'm going to have to re-roll this as well. Contrition of Elira doesn't really help us either, but it's possible that re-rolling past here is going to give us something. We're pretty much going to have to accept that we're going to take damage on the first round here. And of course, there's no... We can gain 2 vigor. That might save us. Okay. And that's on defeating an enemy. With Impale, we get 2 vigor, and then we have to hit 2 more enemies afterwards. Like, incredibly spiced, but we'll see how it ends up. And so I am actually looking at Wolo's. At that point, do we actually want to... this doesn't really kill anything, is my current issue. Let's go ahead with the 2 Tarnished Vaults, because that's probably what we're going to end up needing. It's just seeing more stuff. If we can get anything that gives us access to shielding, then Contrition of Elira is obviously going to help us out with that. Otherwise, yeah, this is just overall scuffed. Barricade Blotter getting in our way. If I hit 2 of these... I think I got my ordering wrong on that one. And we're not even close to there. Let's go ahead and just hit that. Pick that up. That still won't dispatch you, huh? Okay, gonna get it a bit bopped. Not much that we can do about it. Yeah, we're going to lose a lot of health here. And 2 turns, not favorable. Hit you, we get healed once. We lose the maximum amount of points possible, which is not good. 3 turns, that was absolutely god-awful. We probably should have just taken damage in hindsight. Am I willing to take Baylor's Tongue? Maybe. We kind of need something else here. God's Court Crown is kind of not good, but at least we can grind it down. Precision might help, not by itself, but if we can reduce the amount of times that we have to hit enemies, that'd obviously be greatly appreciated. I think we're honestly going to re-roll this. Needles is kind of funny, but we don't have the shield generation in which to, like, go for that. None of these were that much better. Okay. Understood, game. So we will pick up Baylor's Tongue. And I suppose out of these options, give me a Softened Wispit. If I want to hit enemies as little as possible, Cone of Frost isn't really the answer. It's probably Incendiary. Shielded Cannon quest no longer exists. I think that we just go with a Binding Empowerment. Deflecting Whirlwind is pretty much exactly what we were looking for. I almost took the extra Vigor, but we hopefully shouldn't need that too much now that we're doubling the near hits. And if we can get, what is it? Battle March, Victorious March on Whirlwind for the Ascension, the one that makes pretty much all the damage pretty much equivalent to middle damage, and then middle damage reduces cooldown, we might be able to actually utilize this. Incredibly rude. Not feeling good about this at all. Missing this pot is kind of a big deal. And I don't know if we set ourselves up to even be remotely close in order to pick it off at this point. Like, I could at least hit this enemy twice. We won't be able to use the Vigor. We lose the Vigor at the end of the turn, so we just take 2 damage for no reason. So I guess, just go ahead, stab you twice. We get another 25. We're not going to be able to kill the enemy. Even if we were to use Incendiary, we still would not be able to kill them because you still have, like, a ton of health. It's possible that maybe we would have been able to, but I really still don't think that that's the case, and I'm kind of hoping that there is some sort of... I guess we're going to take 2 damage instead of 4 damage, so we're going to sit here. Pot's gonna run away. Because that's what they do. Yeah, we're just taking a ton of damage. And that's going to be an extra turn. Yeah, we're really not doing well at all here. Hammer the broken rail, I'm about it. Like, don't even ask me about it. And I think this is going to have to just happen. Because we're going to go ahead and take restoration. Since we apparently are not seeing any good defensive options here. Are we willing to double grind something here? Probably Soften Wisp It. It's dealing the least for us. Also helps us later in combat, I suppose. Definitely don't think that's Hammer of the Broken Rail. We kind of want like good sources of shielding right now. Velocity on enemy death. That's still probably something that we want. Yeah, it's probably Soften Wisp It. Is that worth taking over a Sea Breach? I actually think that we're going to go to the shop, see if we can't find something. Like, almost literally anything with crit. We're not at a shop. So we're going to get 2 of those. Alright, then yeah, go ahead and get rid of this bad boy. We'll get a free striker. Tarnish, Fulton, and Augment. I kind of want augments right now. Excuse me. Thank you. I've also been wondering how the heck I get past Giannis. That's like super awkward right there. Well, I guess we're going to take 3 damage. We at least have restoration, so that helps. This will give us shielding and deal 8 damage at the end of the turn, so that works. I may have to steal hits anyways. Pick this up. This is going to end terribly. There's the crits that we've been fishing for. Nice of you guys to finally show up. I think we want to hit that last, though. Let's get that vigor. And then heal. I think we still ended up taking overall damage. No. Took one extra turn, though. Frida's Mistake is pretty good. That gives us Ancient Wisdom, and it's a smite trigger. We might be able to get bonus smite, which would do something. It's an attack that doesn't require us to hit enemies. No? Guess I'll take bonus damage. Give me another Vesticle Shrine. And let's take a look at this shop. We have 190 that we can safely spend. Probably a little less in actuality. We could go ahead, take a second Hammer of the Broken Rail. That would give us more shielding than we know what to do with. We could also take the Hammer of the Broken Rail, grind it. Technically, we lose out on one Bastion, but at least we would have full Bastion. We would get another 2 Precision, so then we would be 1 away from the Precision Capstone, which could theoretically solve all of our problems. Allegedly. We could just take Moss Spyglass, actually. And that does the same thing. And so since we did not get the money pot in book 1, we're actually kind of in an oof zone. We're probably going to have to try and take 1 giant Quilling Cache and a Glyph Node. Otherwise, we're going to have difficult times actually hitting what we need to hit for our quotas. We probably wanted that. Our damage is apparently incredibly low. Definitely like that. If only it would have actually have done something for us. Feels like we're going to take extra turns here. Should have done a double spear. Well, we're here now. You're almost about to phase. There we go. Now we got a bunch of low people. We got some spears in the ground. That's going to give us a ton of velocity. We can use this, at least. Let's avoid all your compatriots. Go ahead, get all that. Is it technically better for me to keep doing that and leave these celestial spears for something else? No, we might as well pick these up. Like, it'd be better if we were critting, but not much that we can do about that. Gave us a ton of healing. Go ahead, crit you with that, might as well. Hit you with that, and get another bleed on you, why not? So this is turn 5 right here. We need to figure out a way in order to beat Giannis, which we have absolutely nothing that we can really do for that. But I guess it's just like stab you repeatedly with this, hope that this crits. Is that technically better? No. Because if this is critting, this is doing double damage, so that's doing like 76. It's technically equivalent, but if this keeps critting, then it's better. Okay then. One extra turn. Oh boy. Divine Strike is exactly what we're looking for, wanting to actually like press this button. War Spear maybe, honestly. Increase the size, increase its damage, but that's more of a thing that's going to pay off later. We kind of need stuff that's going to do stuff now. Especially when we have spicy foes and we need to not take damage. Grant +1 max HP, that is very tempting to protect us against all of the Argoloth tentacles, especially because I still don't think that they fixed Argoloth tentacles scaling spicy foes damage with the phase of the fight. So we're most undoubtedly going to be taking damage in the final fight of Argoloth. If we can better prepare ourselves for that, maybe we'll be able to pull ahead other people and score, but right now we are sucking so bad right now. We've got a whole bunch of defensive things, but they're not really doing anything right now. We're hoping that crit is actually popping off, but obviously, again, like even the full crit set is only going to give us like a 1 out of 3 chance to crit, which isn't very reliable. Smiting Whirlwind could actually be pretty good here, except we kind of don't want to hit people with the far edge unless we absolutely want to get the kill shot, because we get shielding if we hit him in the middle edge, which gives us a net gain on health due to spicy foes and our Elira's or Contrition of Elira here. I think that it's Nurturing Restoration. Although, Combusting Incendiary, if we ascend this into something like, what is it, Flashfire that deals damage immediately, and that actually starts critting, that's going to feel very good. Maybe get a green crit AUG on there, but we don't really have the luxury of buying AUGs. And getting green crit AUGs is very difficult during Taste the Rainbow, so thinking that we can easily put crit on this is not actually a fact. So definitely drops this a little bit for me, but I mean, doubling its damage when we are getting, Stone of Scholars, it's technically gaining magic damage. And apparently now we also inflict Hex. which is a basically a bonus damage multiplier for that. No, I think we need to future-proof ourselves. So we're going to take Nurturing Restoration. Wish that we didn't have to, but such is not life.
Hello there,
There's some crit for the final boss. We enjoy that. Is there anything here that we really don't need to hold on to? I would like to say Yorn Key Spear is better out of our inventory, but that's actually not true. This might be a bit overkill, but it also, again, might not be true. Like, if we get crits, then we're able to use skills that we otherwise wouldn't be able to use. Because one would just offset spicy foes. I feel like it is, like, wasting space in our inventory, though. Is our crit damage correct? Yes, it is. It's really a shame that we didn't end up with those needles. We probably should have just taken the needles because Argala. We need a big quill and cache. And then, of course, we get all of these collectibles to prove me wrong. Not quite there on damage. We have 6 shielding, though. I'm fine with this. If all those bats could line up, that'd be great. Then again, we're critting. It's not necessary. Just win the fight. Okay. Unearthed Relic. On gaining shield, gain omni damage until the end of the turn. Kinda good. This is no longer a movement skill. Okay, so Archaic Innards is kinda garbo on this. Let's go ahead and re-roll here. I want them both? That's rough. Gain smite damage bonus equal to 20% of your crit damage. That is currently about 40 damage. 42 damage. Which is equivalent to Storm King 1. We will also get Storm King 1s. We're technically going to be at air quotes Storm King 5. Just not quite. So, is dealing double better than possibly scaling? I think we have almost all the scaling that we can get. Like, sure, we could get more Reaver, but what are the odds of that? Not much. I think we go ahead and we just take Forged Lightning Bolts here. At least it was an interesting decision, though, in all honesty. I don't think we want to grind anything here. Like, it would possibly be Frida's mistake. I don't think that it's Frida's mistake. So we'll go ahead and take the Binding Empowerment. Could also see taking the Sea Breach, but I'm just not convinced that Sea Breaches are going to give us anything good. Sturdy Restoration can overheal. Makes it pretty good. We'll take a Combusting Incendiary now, though. We need this Glyph Globe. The money pun, huh? Cool. Gonna give a cost discount to literally everything here. Go ahead, hit you with this. Jump. I don't want to hit you guys with that. Stab. Stab. Liking that. And you're gonna burn to death. Okay, let's leave that orb. I kind of want to use this again. Farm that up, and we win. Okay. All right, everything's starting to look like it's coming together. Endless March. Okay. Yeah, I think I got to deal with Endless March here. I don't think that there's a cost reduction on that one. If there was, it'd be pretty good. Ink Needle Compass is more crit damage. That's kind of nice. I think on critting Smite is kind of what we're looking for here, though. Just saying. Cost 0, will and gains 30 damage the first time it's used in a turn. Oof, come on now. I actually think that that's good. This is safe. When teleporting to the spear, gain 1 blur and 2 shield. Okay, hold up. I also like this being free. Turtle Spear is kind of ridiculous. Especially up against Argoloth, we're going to get hit by a lot of little damage. We produce good shields. I think 1 blur, or even 2 blur, if we manage to crit with it on a turn. That's a lot of damage mitigation versus Argoloth. We don't really have anything else that we're using there. I think that that's fine. Let's get us some more augments. I'm feeling kind of good about our Vestige kit. Like, there's a couple of things that I would probably want, but... like, more Reaver's pretty much about it. Otherwise, if it wasn't for the fact that we were doing spicy foes, like what we have here is endgame viable, so... like, that feels pretty dang good. Might as well pick that up, use this. Oh, that's spicy. Too bad I don't care. 8 additional stacks of burn is pretty good. 1 stack of marked on fire enemies. I don't think that that's necessary. If I wanted something like that, I would have the smite, and then just get like Storm King 5 completed. We do technically have extra. We can reroll here. Bonus attack binding to burning enemies. Or inflict shock. Inflict shock could also be pretty good. If we were to open up with something like Divine Strike, it does like a heck a ton of damage. 200% crit damage on top of our already. So that deal 5 times damage. Shock the nearest enemy. That could be quite the setup. And then share that with everybody. I think getting another multiplier is pretty much what we're about right now. I kind of like you critting. Reducing your cooldown means that we have access to you every turn. Reducing your cooldown means that we have access to you every turn. We're kind of using you for a multiplier and just some raw damage. Like, all 3 of these feel pretty good to me. I think we're going to go with Quick and Incendiary. We can't afford to buy anything. Probably should have chosen a better thing than the needles here, though. That's pretty nice. Too bad we can't do anything with it. Ashaloon, obviously also pretty good. We technically could have ground up Frida's mistake, but that wouldn't have given us any inherent benefit on this fight, as opposed to, like, you know, smiting for free. I think that that's good. We're aiming for a turn 2 clear here. Go ahead. I actually want to hit you near, although you have the biggest hitbox known to man, apparently. I wanted you to be shattered when I hit you with this, but I guess it doesn't matter. Leave that for next turn, that's fine. Let's go ahead, hit ourselves with this, farm a little bit more HP. Like, this is literally free. So I think we're going to use it. We can go ahead and stab you. It really, honestly, doesn't matter. We're not taking any damage, and you're dead this turn. Just kind of how I feel about it. We got a loot box. Dope. This requires us to leave this in the ground in order to deal smite damage, which doesn't really do that much for us. Like, yeah, 60 base smite damage, plus the fact that it smites twice. So it's actually 4 smites. Is that actually better than getting a velocity at this point? It honestly may be. Now that I think about it. Especially versus Argoloth, that actually might put in quite a bit of work. We also Don't forget that we do have a bit of magic power, and we have bonus. It won't affect our smites because it's in the attack minding bin. But when we physically hit something with incendiary, it has hex, which is supposed to affect smite. And I honestly haven't been checking. But I guess I like it better than Blood Rain. We might use it. We could have re-rolled that. The fact that these cost 2 due to where they're at, despite the fact that it's not necessarily going to give us a purple, kind of feels bad, man. I don't think we need to reduce the cooldown of restoration. Might as well shock somebody, I guess. What else are we going to do? We might be able to get one free reroll out of here. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, we're just short. Okay. I'll be honest, I was not thinking about this fight, though. Okay, I don't know where this damage is coming from, but we'll take it. Then we'll just stab you. Kind of want to pick that up and restore, but not really. We'll have time for that on this turn. Now we can do it. Isn't this supposed to be... Is it 'cause I'm killing all the enemies? Probably, right? Well, I certainly hope it works. Dun's head is huge. I want to carry that. So maybe we do actually grind up Frida's mistake. Another Dun's head would be insanely huge, but we can't afford to do that. So what it's probably going to be is we're probably going to grind this Scorch request just to get Reaver. Well, we'll get Reaver 3 because we're going to carry a Dun's head as well. Yorin Key Spear might grind that as well. I don't know. Anyways, smiting far enemies is probably going to be more useful to us than the rest of this. Is it Frida's? Yeah, I think it's Frida's. What's in here, even though we can't buy it? That's not true. We can buy a Moss Spyglass. It does absolutely nothing for us. Unfortunately, this Victor's Chits with some extra critical damage is 8 gold too much for us. What are you gonna do though? Run back and forth like this, I guess? Would have been hard for that Victor's Chits to actually do something substantial for us though. So we got that going for us, air quotes, I guess? I don't know. That Dun's head is gonna feel great. Anyways, let's do this. Going up against Argoloth, let's... Versus Argoloth, left side? Probably should be right side with Godkeeper. this is horrendous. Guess we should have taken our crit fish. Let's take something off cooldown. We'll go about right here. Okay. Probably should have aimed that a little better. Now we're not looking very good at all. Balls. You definitely don't want to take 3 turns for the first phase. That's not good. It's kind of a waste. Suppose we could have healed ourselves. That was definitely a waste. If you could crit, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Kind of want you to be burning. Thank you. We're going to take a little bit of damage. We're fine. I think we're going to have no tentacles. We have no tentacles and I must scream. Nope, there's one down there. Thank goodness. Okay, we might make this. There's 2. Perfect. That's 1 extra turn, right? 2 extra turns. Oh god, didn't think we were doing that bad. We got much better when we actually started rolling crits, but there wasn't really much else that we could do about that. Like, we already had full precision set plus a Dun's Head. Not sure what else we really could have done about that. Like, we took all the defensive options to keep us from losing points due to damage, but it's possible that the correct move was just to take the damage because, especially on like the first 2 combats, like normal combat and, you know, the turns were times where we took 2 turns. 10% damage is not worth 2 turns. So we were probably just supposed to go like full damage, take more than 10 damage, and just be like, oh, okay, like it doesn't matter because it stops counting at 10%. If it counted more than that, probably could have started mattering then. But yeah, it's very possible that we did the wrong move by trying to go defensive and counteract spicy foes and instead just taking longer than we should have. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like, we got a pretty good run. The only thing that we possibly could have done, which it definitely wasn't the right move at the time, was take needles. In fact, there was 2 needles on offer, and we weren't able to take either of them. One, because we didn't have defense then, and then 2, because we didn't have money then. But even if we would have taken those needles, that definitely wouldn't have killed the money pot. So I don't know. Maybe you might be able to say that a lot of this came down to like crit percent RNG. I still think that we probably could have done that. I think we could have saved a couple of turns just on good ordering on my part. I probably screwed up a couple of turns, but other than that, I don't know. Hopefully the run was still entertaining for you guys, or at least educational. If you have any feedback whatsoever, be it questions, comments, concerns, misplay alerts, be sure to put those down in the comments below. And until next time, I'll catch you guys around.